Hey, this is Todd. I'm just a regular dude walking in the Word. Hey, do you ever feel like at times you're the only one following God, or especially maybe in your family, like you're the only one following God? Um, I was talking to a guy yesterday, and he was telling me how like when he was growing up, how he was get together with family gatherings, and there would be marijuana being smoked and other kinds of crazy stuff happening, and you're like, well, that's happening in the family. Yeah, it's happening in the family. Um, so today I want to talk about this, and it's when you are the only one walking faithfully with God. Okay, we're going through. This is Genesis 5, what we're going to be reading today, which is a genealogy. And what's really interesting, just kind of a side note here, if you look at John Corson's teaching on this particular chapter, it's very interesting, where he goes down through and looks at all the names and what those names mean and how it's really the gospel message by what the names mean. And it's just only God can do that. So that's just an interesting thing. But today I wanted to point out when it seems like when you're the only one walking faithfully with God. We're going to go down through these names, and these guys weren't all following God, okay? But there was one guy that did, and so much so that God just like took him away. Okay, so let's read this. Genesis chapter 5 is what we're reading here today. This is the written account of Adam's family line. When God created mankind, he made them all in the likeness of God. He created them male and female and blessed them. And he named them mankind when they were created. When Adam lived 130 years, he had a son in his own likeness, in his own image, and he named him Seth. After Seth was born, Adam lived 800 years and had other sons and daughters. Altogether, Adam lived a total of 930 years, and then he died. Okay, 930 years. Okay. Now it says he had Seth when he was 130 years old. I'm assuming also that he had more children before that and more children after that. Okay, it just says that he had that son at 130 years old. It wasn't like, oh, this is his third son. It never says that at all. Verse 6, when Seth lived 105 years, he became the father of Enosh. After he became the father of Enosh, Seth lived 807 years and had other sons and daughters. Altogether, Seth lived a total of 912 years. Then he died. When Enosh had lived 90 years, he became the father of Kenan, and Enosh lived 815 years, and he had other sons and daughters. Altogether, Enosh lived a total of 905 years, and then he died. So these guys are living just shy of 1,000 years old. Okay. When Canaan had lived 70 years, he became the father of Mahalo. After he became the father of Mahalo, Kenan lived 840 years and had other sons and daughters. Altogether, Kenan lived a total of 910 years, and then he died. When Mahalo had lived 65 years, he became the father of Jared. After he became the father of Jared, Mahalo lived 830 years and had other sons and daughters. Altogether, Mahalo lived a total of 895 years, and then he died. When Jared had lived 162 years, he became the father of Enoch. After he became the father of Enoch, Jared lived 800 years, and he had other sons and daughters. Altogether, Jared lived a total of 962 years, and then he died. When Enoch had lived 65 years, he became the father of Methuselah. After he became the father of Methuselah, Enoch walked faithfully with God 300 years and had other sons and daughters. Altogether, Enoch lived a total of 365 years. Enoch walked faithfully with God, then he was no more because God took him away. Let me reread that last sentence there. Enoch walked faithfully with God, then he was no more because God took him away. When Methuselah had lived 187 years, he became the father of Lamech. After he became the father of Lamech, Methuselah lived 782 years and had other sons and daughters. Altogether, Methuselah lived a total of 969 years, and then he died. When Lamech had lived 182 years, he had a son. He named him Noah and said, "He will comfort us in our labor and painful toil of our hands, caused by the ground the Lord has cursed." After Noah was born, Lamech lived 595 years and had other sons and daughters. Altogether, Lamech lived a total of 777 years, and then he died. After Noah was 500 years old, he became the father of Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Okay? So, you're reading through all this, and the only person that it talks about was actually walking with God, was faithful to God, was Enoch. And I'll reread that sentence again, verse 24. Enoch walked faithfully with God, then he was no more, because God was with him. Okay? So, that's the whole thing is this. If there was other people walking with God, they probably would have been listed here. Okay? If Methuselah was walking with God, it wouldn't just say he was an old man, it would have said he was walking with God. But it seems like Enoch was the only one faithful and walking with God. And God was so pleased with him that he just took him away. Okay? You're asking yourself, man, I'm walking with God. Is God going to take me away? The answer is yes, he is going to take you away. It's called the rapture. And if I die before the rapture, I'm still going to heaven. Okay? So God will take me away because I'm faithful to him and serving him. And I'm a child of God. Okay? So that's the big thing here. It's going to feel like I'm all alone. You know, in the world here today, I'm like the only one following God, it seems like. But Enoch was the same way. And God was faithful, and he just like, thanks, you're really faithful to me, and he just took him. And he's like one of the only ones in the Bible that's recorded as to not have died. Okay. Thank you for watching. I'm just a regular dude walking in the Word, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow as we start the chapter 6 of the book of Genesis. Lord's blessing. I'll see you then.